Oh, this is it. Hi, everyone.
Apocalypse Alchemy.
My name is Pat. I'm a qualified psychotherapist and linguist. I love languages. That's my kind of area of expertise and shadow work as well. And I'm joined, as I will be most weeks, with by the wonderful Ian. Do you want to introduce yourself, Ian, my friend?
Hello, yes, thank you, Patrick. So yes, I'm Ian. I'm a Reiki therapist, Reiki master teacher, meditation teacher and coach. I also do hypnosis and various forms of massage. So very much in the spiritual, energetic realms from my side of the world. And obviously, we're both on a journey of not just helping to heal others, but also helping to heal ourselves, navigate ourselves through life. We have some weird synchronicities at times, don't we?
Deep, meaningful conversations about what we're currently going through, shadow work, healing, the collective, what's going on at the moment with this great awakening that
Mm.
is currently occurring on our uh, planet. We won't talk about the shape of the Earth in this episode, but we will in another one, I'm sure. Like deep, interesting topics. Yeah, this podcast really is just a natural progression of what we've already been doing, and our intention with it is to obviously have fun, number one, because it's so cool talking about deep shit. It's
Mm.
like what we both live for, We're
Mm.
not into the surface level conversations. Let's do this. Thank you for tuning in, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've been Patrick. Ian has been Ian. We have been one. We've been the podcast. All right. Take care, guys. Speak to you in another moment of the ever present.
Say,
You're practicing for the Project Bluebeam. You've seen all like the alien little things they've started like to drop, haven't they?
oh, they've been
Have you
doing that
seen
for a
these things?
while now, haven't they? They've been dropping that for a while now, probably about a year, I think. They keep every now and again they keep dropping something in about the aliens, and then they drop something in about the Pentagon, and the Pentagon's admitted that they're real. Um, and then other
Yeah, yeah,
other
that's it.
scientists crop in, and then they say, "Yeah, we don't really know what they are, but we know that it's something real." And now a certain, I think it was President Obama, he admitted to the extraterrestrial life and things like that. He said about it as well. And then obviously when Buzz Aldrin and those that went to the moon, when they get questions about it, they're just like, even some of the interviews that they've had, they're just like, well, we didn't go, but like people just haven't like cottoned on. Um, and
Mate, it's so bad, isn't it? You've seen the picture of the before and after. Like before they were like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think they genuinely thought they were gonna go. Like I do think a lot of people who work for NASA and whatever, they're proper like as brainwashed as anyone else. They're like,
oh
yeah, no, doing computer
yeah,
things. And then a few people are like, yeah, 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 we ain't going anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, totally. Yeah, programmed to the back teeth.
Where
Yeah.
are you on all that, man? On the like the firmament and living in an enclosed
I don't
kind of
know.
environment.
I'm open to all concepts. I don't get into one side or the other. Whatever it is, it is.
How very
Um,
balanced of you, sir.
well, I have to keep my zen. One must keep up appearances. um,
Yeah, exactly.
so I try not to get too, but I do follow. I don't actually follow the page on Facebook, but there's a page called Flat Earth Society or something like that. And so it's basically just people who believe in flat earth and people who don't believe in flat earth just squabbling, and people posting in pictures about like their evidence for flat earth, then people posting in pictures of when they've been on a plane and now you can see the curvature in the picture, their evidence. And I just go straight to the I just go straight to the comment section because I just want to see what they're all banging on about underneath.
Yeah.
I'm not even like part of the group. It just comes up. And I think because I interact with it and I read the comments, I think that's why it keeps cropping up. But I find it quite interesting. It's an interesting concept. Will we ever know? Probably not. Um, But I suppose the only way you will know is if you actually get out there and get past the firmament, if that's possible.
You ain't getting through the firmament, man. No
But
way.
then I quite like the theory of the Hunger Games theory, with the sort of everything's enclosed in the dome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that brings a lot of that makes you question a lot about, well, why would they portray that? Why would they portray such like people against the system and people against the state? And why would the state be so aggrieved by such behavior from people when they're supposed to be so all powerful and all knowing? Why should they feel affected by one person? And it just shows that there is power in people, power in the one person. And that those films alone just cry so much about how it is really about the real world,
Yeah.
and about how much is actually a facade and a control. Yeah,
Yeah, well, they
when
control the weather. The Hunger Games, they control the
the
weather, don't
control the
they?
weather,
And
the control
the
everything,
dome.
all your whole
Yeah,
reality is controlled by everything in that dome. So yeah, it just yeah, when you watch things with the third eye and you see through a lot of stuff, you're just like, okay. And it just opens you up to more questions, more possibilities, more knowing or not knowing. But the fact that people are willing to question that and think about it and think of it as a possibility, that is progress.
yes, yeah. On the Hunger Games, yeah, it being in a dome, controlled environment. Um, there's a lot of predictive programming in the Hunger Games. There's always in any film they put in like predictive programming, so like a dystopian future they want people to kind of collectively manifest. That's my belief anyway.
Mm,
Either that or when it happens, people are not so shocked. I don't know which one it is, but my feeling is they kind of want to get people, yeah, either used to an idea, um, or just for the average NPC when you're kind of like, what you talk about reality, and they're like, sounds a lot like the Matrix, mate. I think you've been, just smoking a few too many joints and watching the Matrix. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's because the Matrix is predictive programming or whatever, or, you know what I mean?
mm,
Uh,
yeah.
I don't know what the point of predictive programming is exactly, but they definitely do it. And yeah, dome man, you want to know the etymology. This is apart from the fact I've spent, well, my girlfriend will tell you, I spent a good part of 6 months looking into flat Earth.
Mm,
I sat, and this was when I was going through a big like spiritual awakening, and well, as every other day is, seemingly. I just sat and I was like, right, I don't care. I don't care what it is, just give me the truth, do you know?
mm,
And I came across a flat Earth thing, and I was like, oh shit, that's one of my things I've not looked into. Partly because I was like, well, what's the point? Do you know?
mm,
Who cares what the shape of the Earth is? And to an extent, kind of agree with that. Um, However, I was like, man, if they've lied about the shape of the Earth, I mean, they've lied about everything else. So,
mm.
I mean, I'm definitely not writing
How
it
much
off.
further does it go? Yeah, yeah.
And I looked into it, man. Oh, it didn't take me 6 months to know the Earth was not what they say it is. It
Mm,
takes 10 minutes of an open-minded soul to look into it and go, well, they've lied about that. That's not true. We're definitely not spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, hurtling around the sun, going through like a vacuum, while all the stars and the constellations stay the same,
mm,
and just keep turning above.
mm.
That's obviously a lie. We know the moon landings, like you said, we know that's fake. Anyone with a half a brain look at it, go, yeah, I don't think they did that. I don't think that little fucking that like tin can survived going through it being hurled through a vacuum.
I
And
know
aside
it's
from all
like
the,
made out of tin foil, isn't it, or something like that? It's like so.
it just it proves how brainwashed we all are.
Yeah, yeah.
It proves how they've been laughing at us for years and
Mm,
years and years. And yeah, it took me looking into that, and then the etymology as well, man.
mm,
Dome, right? Dome in Spanish you've got the words, and well, all the Romance languages, domicilio, dom means home, like domicile, we say in
Mm.
English.
Yeah, yeah.
Home is the dome, man. It's the
Mm.
domicilio.
Mm.
Home is, and in the physics of this realm, this place makes sense as well then. You can actually like do scientific experiments within idea of, oh, I get what thunder is now.
Mm.
That makes a lot of sense. I get what lightning is. And then it goes deeper and it goes into like it being my theory is it's like a torus field and we're on everything is the torus field, right? Which is the real shape of an atom. And we're on the plane of inertia, which is the heart, the earth, the heart, it's the
Mm.
anagram, right?
Mm.
Of uh of God, of a being,
Mm.
which has because we are sons of God, we're like it's a fractal universe, right?
Mm.
Or a fractal dream or whatever we're in. Could be a simulation still. But whatever is it's fractal and you've got like my theory is you've got the heart chakra, which is the earth, and then you've got different planes and realms up
Mm.
and like below and above.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's my kind of theory on it, and it makes a lot of sense. Also, why the sky is blue because
Mm.
it's the next chakra up.
Yeah,
Once
yeah.
I like started opening my mind to this, I was like, wow.
Mm.
But yeah, equally, I agree with what you were saying about yeah, people get very polarized
Yeah.
over it. People in the spiritual community as well, like I don't know. I kind of see it as like some people wake up to it, some people don't. They wake up to other things first,
Mm.
but it doesn't mean people are not like either on the path or like truth seeking. They just go in
Different
different
directions.
directions.
Yeah, yeah. What they feel called to go towards. Um, yeah, I'm kind of like I say, I'm indifferent about it. I'm on the cusp of either way with it. Um, it is what it is, really. For me, I kind of like look a little bit. I just think a lot of that as well is a great divide tactic for a lot of people, because there are people that are on one side of it and the other side of it, and everything in life is just divide. Everything has an element of just splitting people apart. Um, and yeah, we've just got to come back to wholeness, got to come back to ourselves. And I just did a healing session before, and a card that came out was because I always pull a card for them, um, just for an overall message. Have I still got it on the top of the deck? No, I haven't. It was intend and create. That was it. And basically, it's saying that like wherever your intention goes to, you're going to create that.
Yes.
And something that I discuss with a lot of there it is, a lot of people, a lot of my clients intend and create that one. It's like an Egyptian type one. Um, but although the card itself talks about intention and creation from a positive aspect of things, you can also intend and create from the negative side of things. So if you're always in that realm of negativity and negative thinking, then you're intending and creating that reality, which is something, we often talk about this power of manifestation, of how we create, and between us all this energetic frequency that we carry. And if we're always in that frequency of the negative or the doom and gloom, or then that is what you will see. That'll be your perception. And it's a bit like what I was saying to you via our messages the other day, when you had this huge kind of like realization. And yeah, perception and how we perceive the world around us is what we actually are. It's so powerful. Really, really
Yeah,
powerful.
man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so true.
And that's where
We've
people
seen.
talk about new earth, and that's where new earth will come from. It'll come from us. It's not going to come from a man coming from the sky, or anything like that. It's going to come from
Oh,
the sorry, it's going
shame.
to it's going to come from that element of Christ within each and every one of us, the Christ consciousness. Yeah, it's beautiful, really, when you think about it. And when you start going through when you start doing, you've been doing the healing for so many years, and you start going through the layers and the different levels, and you get like a sudden level of realization, and something like kind of like lifts off, and then you hit like another bit, and then you like have to go through that, and it's a bit like the healing and the integration work that you do with everything, and then and then you hit that, and you have to go through that gluey stage. Then something lifts off again. You're just like, oh, okay, right, okay, um, and that's a bit like something that Eckhart Tolle talks about in one of his talks on YouTube that I've watched quite a few times, and it's just basically just Eckhart Tolle meditation. It's called, and he's in this auditorium, and the only view is of him on the stage, and he talks about the various levels of consciousness and awakening. And he said most people are kind of like at the surface level, where they're kind of like, just to say, aware of not being able to trip over things and bump into things, where they just know what's what and they can kind of like get around it. But he said then you go like a little bit deeper, and then he talks through the whole process, and you go a little bit deeper until you're at that internal level of aliveness, of being aware of the energy that resides within the self. um and that is what the Buddha has been talking about, what Jesus has been talking about. The kingdom of heaven is within you. And he's just like, well, all these teachings from Jesus, like, what do they actually mean? And he actually says in that he actually says in that seminar that he's holding, he said, who actually understands the words of Jesus? Not very few people, maybe a few Buddhists. And that and the whole place just like laughs, because it's such, who actually knows, because a lot of it is very, very cryptic. It's very kind of like based on metaphor. So the way he was describing it was like, the kingdom of heaven does not come with signs to be perceived. So in other words, you can't say,
Which you can't
oh, it's
say,
there,
oh,
or it's there,
Yeah,
or it's there,
yeah, uh,
because it's everywhere. um
yeah,
so yeah, and that is what is residing within when people find it.
yeah. And then it just seems to be like just a deepening of it, really, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It
it just
it just
goes level by level.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, it, it's like, oh, and that. It's that's kind of po the positive side of awakening, let's say, because at the start, in order to embody truth is as it is. All this
Mm,
is unconditional, unfathomable, blissful love, like
mm,
peace. That's what the nature of consciousness is. To then start to embody that, you have to, because it's everything, you have to say, and this. And I found myself when I was doing shadow work and everything, a pattern comes up, like some guilt and like a twisting in the stomach, really uncomfortable emotions that normally would be like, no, 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 stay away. If you want to embody truth, you have to say, and this.
mm,
And you are saying, and this, as that unconditional love on that part of yourself, which is pretending to not be love, or it was kind of like it's almost like distorted light. It's hard
mm,
to kind of speak about these things, isn't
mm.
it? Because it's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
it's all one and perfect, right? But
Mm,
it's seemingly like a distorted energy. And you, as
yeah.
like unconditional love, you look at that and you say,
Mm,
and this. And then there's often a release, that comes to the body, like crying or something.
mm,
Crying is the energy moving up and out, isn't it? Up and out. Oh, wow.
mm.
And you feel like, that's why crying feels great sometimes, if you have
Yeah.
like a good cry. And interestingly, I've on this path, sometimes I feel myself, I have like some realizations or some patterns will kind of be coming up, and I'll be holding space for them and being okay, being okay. I'll get to like after a week and I'm like, man, I need to cry. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean? I need to
mm,
like do something to change the tune the frequency. And
mm,
I've if I'm feeling like, oh, it's sadness, I need to feel like this sadness because this is God as well. I have to feel this. I'll put on some like sad music or something and really try and like get in the, and it'll just set something off. And then when
Mm.
the tears start flowing, that's when you're like, oh,
Yeah.
the bliss happens in the tears coming out, doesn't it? And then
Yeah.
the wisdom, God's wisdom comes in, and you go, oh yeah, no, I see. You can't have sadness without love.
I, d- I don't really
Love is everything.
I don't really cry much anymore. I very rarely cry now, but I think that's because of all the years that I've cried in the past when I've just been at like rock bottom. I just think I
Yeah.
just can't. I don't know. So yeah, every now and again I will feel like an emotion arise, but it doesn't come into the form of my eyes might get like a little bit moist, or even if I'm watching something and it pulls at the heartstrings, I'm just like, and I can feel the emotion there, and I can feel it's like it's there, and it's about, but it doesn't come. It's just I think it's because I'm fully in it and aware of it, that I'm actually so present with it that I don't need to release it. I just know that it's there, and then it just does what it needs to. I think. Um, I don't know, but yeah, it's very different when you're in a place of kind of like uh when you do get into places of deep self-awareness, and you're actually able to feel everything that's going on internally and within your energy field around your body, and any like blocks or friction or emotion that might just be there, and you're just aware of it. And sometimes I find the best way of just dealing with it is just talk to it. And I know we've talked about this before on some of our videos, where just speak to it, and tell it to either give it permission to let go or whatever, but just speak to it. And it's amazing how you will shift. It will move, because the body, the mind, the spirit, everything, it's all interconnected. Um, yeah, it's pretty deep, pretty deep.
Yeah. 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 What was the realization I messaged you about? I was like, oh, I need to just speak to someone who can understand this and not like ask for me to get locked
Yeah,
up.
yeah. It
I was
was
like, sorry, man, I'm just gonna ramble.
it
What was
was
it?
it was just
It was that,
basically
wasn't it?
it was the love thing. It was just the realization that everything is just
Yeah.
love. Everything is just a frequency of love. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the big one.
And
Yeah,
have you
that
ever
kind of.
noticed as well how all people in the past of celebrity standing, any of them that have spoken about just having peace and love and finding peace and love, they've all been bumped off.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm allowed to say that.
Exactly.
Tough. I've said it, but yeah. I mean, I did a video where I actually connected, and I was working with John Lennon's energy, so he was coming through, and I did that on my channel, and a lot of it was unusual, because I don't normally do that sort of stuff, but it was very very interesting, and I didn't know um, until I started like working with his energy. I didn't actually know that he was also dyslexic in life. And then afterwards, I had to Google it because obviously you doubt yourself. So I had to Google it and find out. And I was like, was John Lennon dyslexic? And yes, he was. Well, a lot of people didn't actually know that. But the only reason why I knew was because I was doing some automatic writing, and he was
Mm.
giving me information to write down, and some of the words weren't spelt correctly. So I knew that they weren't spelt correctly, but I couldn't rectify them. And I was just like, why? Why is this coming out
Well,
like this? This is like kind of like unusual. And then I realized, and I was like, you were dyslexic, weren't you? And he's like, yeah. So like when I was trying to speak and talk and say what he was saying, what I'd written down, it took me a while to be actually vocalize the words as well because that was still imprinted in my energy field. So yeah, it was interesting. Yeah.
Oh man, you got such a cool gift.
Look at my latest book.
Let's have a look. The occult book, chronological journey of alchemy. Hey yo, man, that sounds good.
Mm. I just looked at like the first couple
Oh,
of
that's good.
pages because at the minute I'm reading The Golden Future by uh oh, what's her name again? D Diane Diane Coop Diane Cooper? Diane Cooper, I think it's by. The Golden Future. I've just finished A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle.
Oh,
Um,
what did you think about that? Because that's the one I've
oh,
read that.
really good. I read The Power of
Yeah,
Now. I've been through The
yeah.
Power of Now. Really enjoyed that. And then Dan got me A New Earth last Christmas, and I've just got around because I got loads of books last Christmas, and I've just got around to finishing that about a week ago. So now I'm on to Diane Cooper's book about A New Earth, and that goes into a lot of stuff that we're going through currently, actually, plus the COVID thing. um, and why that had to come up, why that had to come about to basically wake people up, and uh, talks about a lot of the illness, the injuries that have come alongside that as well, and the reason why those souls had to depart for new energy to come through. Talks about the financial system. That's the part I'm kind of at the minute where it will collapse. And she says that New Earth, the New Earth energies will actually be kind of like very much around in, I think it's 2032. So we're not far away. So we're looking at like less than 10 years. Um, and that's when it'll all start really kind of like taking shape and rebuilding. Which you did
Mm,
say that this has been going on since um the 1940s, so like after World War II kind of thing. This has been in the process, the unfolding. And it was the 80s. There was, I think it was like 1982. There was a big thing. Then like the 90s. Then obviously like the millennium, and then 2012 was another
yeah,
big thing.
yeah.
You tend to find 2012 was when a lot of people just kind of like, bing, like something switched on, and it just woke
Mm-mm,
a lot of people up. Um, and then obviously the next shift was the pandemic.
mm-mm.
So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They're all catalysts, aren't they? The catalysts seem to be getting more and more
Mm,
intense.
mm, yeah.
More and like wake up kind of thing. Like for those
Yeah.
of you who have not done so already, your reality is not what it seems. We're not here to go and do a 9 to 5, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. She talks a lot about the actual working world and why the working world is changing so radically, and why people are stepping away from employment, because people are realizing that that's not the frequency to be in when you are on in the golden future on New Earth, to be sort of, well, enslaved really, in a system
Mm,
that isn't there for your highest good. So it's a really
mm.
interesting book so far. And at the end of each chapter, there's like a little
Little.
short, I suppose, like meditation-y sort of thing that you can like do in your mind and just visualize things, to bring New Earth energy in a little bit closer.
Yeah. And anyone who's listening wondering like what is New Earth energy? It's love. It's very simple. It's just truth,
Mm,
you know. It's just love. It's just a how can I say this? Um like less diluted version of love really. Like everything is love.
mm,
Is unconditional love, and it's just it's just that. That's all you need to
mm.
follow.
And it's
Yeah.
just
And with
seeing.
Christ and well, I got Christian, my Christian friends and stuff are talking about Christ, and I'm always trying to like point them on like, yeah, we said that. It looks like a lot of love, talking to the heart, and and kind of the way is in, the way up is in. You go in through the heart, and um,
That's why all of the cultures have this. They have this prayer position as well. Because
which the natural,
that's that
you
connection,
can
and
feel it.
it's the balance. It's total balance of your energy. I mean, we do it in like Reiki circles, and it's a exercise it's called Gasho, where you just breathe. And but me and my Reiki master have had many talks about it, and it's almost like the way we describe it, it is like a joining of energies. So you're joining your masculine and feminine energies, because the left side of your body is your feminine, the right side of your body is your masculine. You're bringing that together to one
Mm.
union. Yeah, and it
Yeah, yeah,
really, really, and obviously then you're right in front of the heart chakra, so you're in front of that portal that is your um the direct connection to your spirit, through your heart.
yeah, yeah. And it just feels natural things, when you say like thank you, or like the Japanese, arigato.
Mm, mm,
So the hands together, goes to the
mm,
heart. It's a natural kind of feeling, isn't it?
mm.
Well, your body wants to do that. When you say
Mm.
thank you, you're not going like thank you kind of thing. You
Yeah.
go thank you, even like to a higher kind of
Mm,
power, you know. Um,
yeah.
I see. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's it in that. Yeah, New Earth energy. Yeah, love, love. That's
Mm.
because that's all there is. Yeah, love and light, man. Love and light.
It's funny
The old
how
hippies
the
are right.
whole, yeah, well, I was just thinking that the other day, that they used to talk about the hippies and the new ages, so that was probably another point in time where this energy started to come in, but it just wasn't the right time, and that's why it's
The
coming.
60s, man. The
Yeah,
60s for
60s.
sure. There was with the psychedelics and stuff.
Yeah, mushrooms.
Yes. Mushrooms. Not that we suggest using any drugs. You don't need to. I mean,
No, you
I've not
don't.
tried any hallucinogenics. Not yet.
No.
I do want to. I do
My,
want
my,
to, but
my world's trippy enough. I don't need any more.
mate, this is it. I'm always throughout like the healing journey and whatnot. I'm like, oh wow, I'm at a point now. Yeah, maybe I should try. I want to try some like hallucinogenics. Then I get a bit of shadow come up, and I'm like, nah, I'm all right. And then between like holding space for the shadow, and then the bliss and oh the downloads or whatever, the fucking hell. I'm like, I'm tripping balls, man. I'm literally I'm dreaming that I'm a human being like this. I mean, I know nothing about this. This is life is a trip.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't need anything. It's absolutely trippy,
Yeah,
trippy as.
yeah, absolutely. Don't need it.
Yeah,
Have you ever
yeah.
tried
Oh,
sort
mate.
of meditating with just your eyes open and trying not to blink? Like how the Zen masters and the Buddhists do it. And if you just stare and don't blink, and the amount of colors that fill the room is just insane. You will see so many colors because you're no longer kind of operating with the physical eye. You start operating with the mind's eye, and you start seeing the energy that is around you, that enters and pervades your reality. You just see so much, and try doing it on a nighttime in the dark. You will see some weird shit. You will see some weird shit. I do anyway. Sometimes I'll just be laid there. I'm just like, who's that over there?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. No, I might freak out a bit.
Like,
I'm not sure. I
oh,
do it in the
fucking hell.
daytime. I do it in the daytime. I don't look into the darkness and see. Now, to be fair, sometimes I do it at night. Yeah, if it's like nice and dark, but head under the covers or whatever, and just open your eyes and oh,
Mm.
it's yeah, it's mysterious. It's mysterious. Did I in those messages I sent you, did I tell you the one of the ones which is just a form of integration, right? As anything is, it's all kind of just word sausages. But did I tell you about my theory about this the mind? Did I
I
tell you,
think
you know how it
um
operates?
I think so.
So what you were saying about like balance, right? And that is the way of the spiritual warrior. Hoya. So balance, right? Like
Hiya!
not choosing this one, it's oh, this
Yeah,
one
yeah.
and this one make everything. Okay, that's how reality is expressed as the duality, right? That's how God light sees itself, right? Ultimately. So the mind works in absolutes. You a fan of the of Star Wars, or
Mm,
you know how they say the Sith deal in absolutes, you know,
mm,
like it's this or that.
mm.
It's duality, right?
Yeah.
George Lucas, I'm pretty sure, was into the occult stuff. He knew.
Oh, he was absolutely,
I'm
definitely.
sure of it.
Why do you think he called it?
Freemason
Why do you think
galore.
he called it the Force? You know, he knew exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah, and then obviously he had all like the planets and stuff because he wanted to deceive people about the dome and flat Earth. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, yeah. It all makes to my belief system very biased. Anyway, I realized, oh, so the mind it deals in absolutes, right? So if you want to, if you're in that state, you're a Sith, do you know? So the dark side is the path to the darkness, right?
Mm,
The left hand path.
mm,
Yeah, the left hand path. Jesus often points to his heart, doesn't he? And then points up to the right hand side of him, do you know? The right hand path and the left hand path. The sin, the
mm,
sin means without in Spanish, right? The part without, sin, sinistra in Italian. So means left. So the mind, right? I'll work this out, man. Work this out. It's ones and zeros is both is on and off, isn't it? The
mm,
mind never can be like have like a nuanced idea, even but the words we're using, it's all duality. Do you
mm,
know? That's why, like you said before, Jesus spoke in parables. He had to speak in parables because like you can't speak the truth, you can only be the truth, right?
mm.
You can only shut up really to kind of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When you try and speak about it, it's distorted. As beautiful and poetic as words and things can be, they can only point to the truth.
Mm,
So I realized I was just walking, listening to my mind and observing it, and it's kind of like this or that, this or that. I'm like, oh, ones and zeros. The mind works in ones and zeros. And then I got it, man. The mind body that we're in, this kind of avatar, we feel is physical, right? It is the matrix. It
mm.
is this simulation. It is this, you know. That's why there is no separation on any level. It's not like spiritual people talking about like, oh, I've got a soul and I'm not part of this kind of thing. I'm separate from this. I'm gonna be out of here. See a 3D world. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you are this. You
Mm.
have to become the matrix rather than escape it. That's what I've got.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to become the matrix. How do you do that? Well, you depolarize your field,
Mm. Yeah.
depolarize it. And then
Yeah.
you realize, oh, that's why the mind,
Mm.
that's why the mind is the way it is,
Mm.
It just is part of the matrix, baby. And that's why it's got like all the negative default programming
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah. You did
Because
say
it's
that in your
fear-based.
messages. Yeah. I remember now.
Does
Yeah.
that resonate with you, or
Yeah. Yeah.
would that get me locked up?
No, 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 I haven't called anyone yet. There's still time.
Yeah, I think it's just a level. It's just another level of realization for me.
It's yeah, it's like
Like
another level of
it's,
release.
eh, yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, exactly. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, yeah. So that. it for me, it's brought it more into this waking realm, rather than a spiritual, I'm one and everything, and there's this awareness, and I'm like, yeah, I know kind of consciousness is everything, and I can logically kind of do self-inquiry and know that
Mm.
to be true. But it's moved into a more like a felt experience now.
Yeah.
I know like this is like, oh, unconditional love. Do you know what I mean? Great.
Yeah.
Unconditional love manifests as a pen. And then like you said, once your beliefs, they reflect back to you,
Mm.
and that's how this dream is going to be redreamt as the new earth, I
Mm.
feel.
Yeah.
Does it talk about it in the book
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
all? Or
Yeah. That's mentioned in the book, and the people that are on this frequency, on this vibration, they won't be affected by, by drama or crime or hatred or anything like that, because they'll be on a totally different frequency, because because you because you're in the frequency of just seeing everything in love. um and those people are on a frequency of seeing everything in hate. You just totally, it's almost like when you think about the physical realm and the spiritual realm that kind of like overlap, but you don't actually see it all the time. It's just in waves when you see it, and it's going to be the similar sort of thing, I think, because it's a different frequency, and you're vibrating at a different frequency. So, although you are still physical, you probably won't be as visible to some people, because they will only resonate with those in their reality. If you get me, am I going to get
carry
locked?
on.
Am I going to get locked up
No,
now?
no.
So,
Yeah, this is your
so,
strike one.
so,
No, keep going, keep going.
so if they're in that realm, then that is what they will see, and that is what they will be. Whereas if you're in a heightened state of consciousness and you're in this realm, which is slightly above, you're in a different frequency. Your whole body is vibrating at a different frequency. People see you differently. People will see you. They might even see you more, because they do say that if you resonate on a higher frequency, the people will just kind of like either be drawn towards you because of your healing energy, or just your raised vibration, or they will just see you as probably just like a lighter being, because you're not carrying the weight of the density of the reality of other people. um but then again, like I said before, you probably won't be. I don't think it's the fact that you won't be visible. They just won't be able to acknowledge or get to that person on that frequency, because they're just going to be two polar opposites. They're going to be people in such low denseness that they're not going to be able to affect or acknowledge or correspond to that other frequency, the higher frequency. And that's my kind of uh vague basic understanding of it, really.
Yeah. It's law of attraction, isn't it? It's a law, like it's a
Mm.
universal law. Like you can't, if you're vibrating on a certain frequency, you attract that into your reality. Do you
Mm.
know?
Mm.
Yeah. And the point also being in peace, and just okay with this, with who you are, with reality. You just okay with anything anyway. Do you know? The only thing you feel is when you see someone who's like got a lot of heavy energy, and they're in a lot of like suffering,
Mm.
because there's nothing that resonates in your field
Mm.
with that. You just
Yeah.
compassion, compassion. And then yeah, like you said, makes sense. Some beings will come close for healing, as we use pets and dogs. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
That's what we've been doing for however long. You feel
Yeah.
sad or whatever, you go, "Come here," your dog's like, oh,
Mm.
best company ever. It's not
Yeah.
judging,
Yeah.
it's just pure love.
Yeah. That's
Do you
all they
know?
want.
Pure
That's
presence,
all
pure
they ever want.
consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all they give. That's all they want. Like,
Mm.
um, yeah. So in that way, That's yeah, can imagine how. Yeah, or they go the other way, right? Because I don't know how much you kind of buy into the law of one material. A lot of that stuff resonates with me
Mm,
about we're here to choose essentially, choose a polarity. So the positive or the negative, or it's for infinite conscious, for God, like it's all
mm,
gravy, it's all gravy,
mm,
baby. Just choosing
yeah.
it's like flavors, isn't it?
Mm,
Flavors. What do you want to experience? You want to live in that world of duality and have like highs, a lot of pleasure and a lot of pain, or do you just want bliss,
mm.
just to chill and be like, yeah, it's good and just love and yeah,
Yeah, man.
happiness. Yeah, I reckon most be well, the law of one says, yeah, most beings polarize to the positive just because it's the natural pull
And it's easier.
anyway.
It's easier.
We're lazy.
Unless you're constantly programmed into the the negative energy, which is what a lot of life tends to try and keep people in that pool of negative energy. But when you step out of it and you do start to come out of it, and you feel the lightness, and it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. You do all the work, you do all your shadow work, you do everything. Um, yeah, you have to get through all that. But then when you do find that place, it is just easier. You're not weighed down by so much of the crap that kept you kind of pinned. Um, yeah, there was
Mm.
something I saw like on I think it was on like my Facebook feed or somewhere like that, and someone was like really getting quite annoyed because uh I think they wanted to
Getting
do
annoyed on Facebook? I don't believe
yeah
it.
they wanted to do so I think it was something to do with like the theory test for driving or something like that, and they hadn't had the driving license back, and they were getting like really really irate. I'm just like, well, why are you getting so like, and I, well, I sent off for it. It should be back by now. I'm just like, we'll turn it when it
Mm.
turns up. Just like, let it go. But I've booked it for this date. I was like, right, okay, well, just book on a different date. Like, I know, but it's all paid for. Well, surely they'll be able to transfer the payment that you've paid. Just, but you just keep hitting a wall. And in the end, you're just like, oh, you know what?
Mm.
Get on with it. You know?
Uh, yeah, and talking about the law of one, that's something. Yeah, you need to respect the free will. Let God suffer. Do you know what I mean? It's what they want.
Yeah,
It's what they want.
yeah.
You can just send them blessings and yeah, just that's the hardest part actually. Getting that discernment. Once you kind of
Mm,
feel that love, you can feel like and you empathize with them. Oh God, and you try and like solve their problems, help them, and whatever.
mm,
At a certain point, that the throat chakra, the wisdom needs to come in and realize actually, and it's a higher standpoint of truth as well, right?
mm,
Like, yeah, no, they're God. Do you know what I mean?
mm.
They're God. Let them
Yeah. Let
bit
them deal
respect,
with it.
please, for the
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the respect the highest. let them
yeah.
let them suffer.
Give them the
That's what they
space.
they want.
Mm,
Exactly, exactly. You
yeah.
don't make things work. Obviously, you make things worse for them. You offer the space, exactly,
Mm,
which is the highest frequency they can vibrate at.
mm,
Anyway, that's all you can do. Just offer the person the highest frequency they can
mm.
they can vibrate at, isn't it? Like if the next, like the David Hawkins. Oh, we should get it up on the screen, man. The Hawkins
Oh, the Hawkins scale of
map of cons.
consciousness.
Yeah,
We,
boy.
oh, we've had that up
It's
before, haven't
good,
we? Hey up.
probably,
Get it up, lad.
probably.
Get it up, lad. I think we had it on my channel, didn't we? We talked about it on my channel at one point. Um,
Yeah, one epic. Okay, right. Can you see that?
here we have the degree. As you can see by the color chart. Go on, Stephen
Here
Hawking.
we here we here we are at Enlightenment. Here Stephen Hawkins is. Oh no, he's passed, doesn't he? Anyway, I shouldn't talk about people. Right. What are we saying?
Is it?
Yes, this is
Do you think he was in
go on.
Epstein Island?
mate, I think they just throw random names under
I
the
think,
bus
yeah,
to,
absolutely.
to, like they're like, okay, who can we just,
Yeah,
they
who,
need to like get the attention away. What's the maddest person on this list? Ah, Steve. Yeah, let's just talk. Let's say, oh, look at him on the list. So then all the memes come and everything. That's all. Yeah, whatever. It's all playing itself out.
so here we have the
Companies
map
doing it.
of
It's quite
consciousness
funny to like dip your toe in sometimes.
developed by David
So
R. Hawkins. Am I sounding English documentary enough?
he did he did it with muscle testing, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, that's how he did it. Muscle testing. I'd love to
Oh,
do some muscle testing.
yeah,
Um,
I did it touched on that in EFT when I did my EFT course, muscle testing. Hmm,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah. You're kind of like you ask the subconscious mind or the kind of informed field or whatever, like
Hmm.
this or this, and it kind of strengthens if it's like true,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then weakens if it's not true.
It's a bit
Um,
like
yeah,
emotion code therapy as well. They tend to use the body as a thermometer. So if it swings forward or swings back, it gives them the answer that they need. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
yeah.
Carry on, sir.
No, no, that's cool. That's cool. Right, where was I?
So here is. Have you got a
Yeah.
pointer?
Can you not see my little mouse moving about? No,
Oh yeah, there it is. There's your little finger.
there it is. Right, right, okay.
So
So this is something else I yeah realized recently. Can't remember when it was, but whatever, it was in the present moment because that's all there is. So in the present, sometime in the present, I realized, oh, you can offer whatever, it doesn't matter what kind of level of your consciousness is or whatever. The person that resonated, you can only offer them the level kind of above almost because you've got to go
mm,
through the motions. No one, unless they've got some divine kind of plan in their life, is going to be like in grief and then
mm.
just all of a sudden, bing, oh, actually, I forgive him, I accept them. Like this, or like, oh, and what's my view of God? Oh, it's all one. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't happen like that. They got to go through the motions, right? That's got
Mm,
to like raise up. Um, so I quite like this because I'm kind of looking at it. I'm like, okay, speaking to someone, family member, friend, or whatever, partner. Sorry, she doesn't watch these videos. She don't watch them. She will when she breaks into the green here. She'll start looking at us. But like, oh, okay, right. So anger. Okay. So pride is the next one up, right? Pride. So there's no use lecturing someone who's feeling angry about acceptance. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
You
yeah.
pointless.
It's
You may as well just start like
yeah.
barking.
It's like a polar opposite, isn't it?
Why? It's just no, they're not ready for that. The anger, so pride, knowing that pride, okay, pride is the next kind of level up. And then you're moving in out of the survival paradigm, right, into the reason and integrity,
Mm,
pride, you know. So things like someone's angry, um, obviously you can just be completely silent and open and loving or whatever. But if you do feel like, yeah, no, I want to infringe upon their free will and give them a lecture or whatever, lecture from their kind of frequency, right? So you can, so courage is the next one. So you kind of
mm,
speak in terms of that, be like, oh, it's about how brave they're being, oh, that's brave of you to do that because it is brave to be angry, to be angry, to be authentic, have that anger and then be authentic. That
mm,
takes bravery,
mm,
you know, takes bravery. Saying, oh yeah, that sounds brave of you. That's taken some courage,
mm,
even, yeah, that's taken some courage. Um, and they might think, yeah, maybe fall back into pride or whatever. But the point is, it's
mm.
going up. So that was something I realized I really like this as like a little
Yeah, little
check it,
table of yeah. I love the. I
Yeah,
know we've done it before, but I do love like the colors and how they just all the colors always correlate and go back to chakra colors every time. Anything, everything, everywhere always goes back to chakra colors. You, you can't fall off when you because like
you should.
pride and courage where they are, solar plexus is all about your confidence, and your drive, so courage and pride and it all comes from like a level of confidence in yourself. um Anger, desire, fear, sacral chakra, the orange, desire and creativity and all that sort of stuff, and those bare instinctual emotions come from that energy field. Yeah, a survival, the physical stuff, who we physically are, what makes us the way they are. Then the more you move into the heart, move into the green and up over, you become more accepting and neutral, and um, move into places being able to actually speak and reason and share your love, share your passion, share your joy. Yeah, really, really, really good. Love them colors every
Mm,
time. I say every time, like whatever we look at, there's always, it seems to always go back to chakras, and that philosophy that from Hinduism and right through all the ancient cultures, that they were so spot on all the way back then, and all that knowledge that they had that we just kind of like tapping back into. probably
yeah,
the, probably the
yeah,
last 100 years, maybe at a push, we're just starting to move back into that, and that knowledge and knowing.
yeah. And it is knowing it. It's truth.
Mm,
It is absolute truth, and it's kind of been, yeah, trickled down, like filtered down through the religions, which have all been kind of like distorted and
mm,
twisted, and bits taken out and whatnot. But the truth, because it's the truth, right? It's always gonna There's always gonna be, like, no matter how cloudy the sky,
mm.
there'll always be a tiny, tiny bit of blue,
Yeah.
tiny bit of blue, because that's the truth. And now it's just, yeah,
Mm. It's a bit like what it
it's
was saying in the beginning of this occult book. I just read like the first sort of couple of pages, and it said in there that the occult practices have been diluted so much in the West that that's why people don't really know anything about them. They're a bit fearful of them because they don't really understand it. But they actually say, if you go into a Shinto monastery in Japan, a lot of the stuff that they do, you'd be like, "Oh, what the hell are they doing?" That's a bit mystical, a bit weird, a bit occult, a bit esoteric. But that it's where it all, all the foundations from old traditions, all goes back to this hidden knowledge, which is occult. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's hidden knowledge. That's all it is.
yeah, it makes sense though why, you know, the collective ego is afraid of the occult, because it's the hidden, right? If you think about it
Mm,
on our kind of personal level, the shadow self is hidden as well.
mm.
People are scared of that. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
just a reflection of that. But once you go into it, once you go into the occult, the darkness, the hidden, woo, gems of wisdom,
Yeah, yeah.
truth,
And again,
truth.
that's
You find
all a
truth.
level of programming, isn't it? Don't let people know about that. Don't let people look at that because they'll be able to heal themselves. Make people afraid of it. Don't let people show their emotions or act in certain ways or say certain things. Keep them sort of suppressed and quiet. We can't let that get out. And it goes across the board, from that all the way through to like now, where people are still being suppressed and silenced for having an opinion. You still can't say certain words now. You're just like, really? For goodness sake.
Yeah, yeah. But we're the end of Kali Yuga, aren't we?
Mm,
Normal. It's always like has to happen like that. Has to, like, intensity, intensity.
mm,
You can't say, and interesting, isn't it? You can't say this anymore. You can't say that. You can't say that. Maybe that's pointing us towards the truth.
mm.
Don't fucking say anything. Do you know what I mean? Silence.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, the Buddha was right all
Yeah,
along, wasn't he? He said, don't try and calm the storm, calm yourself, and just let the storm will pass. And that's what he said all the time. And you look at things that have happened over the years, and everything comes out, everything becomes exposed. The truth always comes out, always. It may take longer, it may take shorter, but it will always happen eventually.
yeah,
Mm,
exactly. Yeah, the truth is the truth, you know.
mm.
Truth is the truth.
So there we go.
Buzzing.
I hope you enjoyed that episode, folks. Join us more for next week.